happening, people? How you doing? How you doing? My name is Sean Butler. Bugsy Malone is downstairs somewhere. It's 8:21 in the evening. She's not interested in what's happening with Tottenham, but the news is out. There's all sorts of crazy things happening. First and foremost, we hear Vicario is almost done from Dimarzio. Romano's reporting the same thing, but saying that Raya is still top of the list. What's going on, people? What is going on? At the same time, we've got all sorts of shenanigans, is the polite way of saying skullduggery. The rules don't matter anymore if you're Newcastle or Chelsea, or does it matter if you're either or? Because they're all the same thing when they're owned by the same people. The whole football is broken, but we can't worry about that tonight. It's 8:22, and we got a couple of people to spend the next hour, 90 minutes with as we figure out what's going on together. Lock yourselves in, people. Shout out to the chat. Dial in, hit the like button and the subscribe button before you even get comfy. Don't put the kettle on yet. Make sure you get it done before the intro starts. And that starts right about now. The Spurs Talk Show is on. Lovely touch from him, though. Harry Kane, Lucas Moura, can you do something, please? Last chance. Last chance, Matt Doherty! Oh, you shite! There could be from the dead to the don't fuck it up now. Don't fuck it up. Don't win it. Go and win it. Go and win it. Let's go. Last chance. Stephen Bergwijn. Stephen Bergwijn's through. Win it, Stephen. Come on. Yes! Yes! He's won it! He has won it! Oh my God! Oh my God! We did it! Yo, check this out. What's happening, people? What is this? The third or fourth time today we've seen each other, either in real time or in some sort of delay from uploads. How are you? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I have been out with my dad, and whilst I have gone 6 weeks without alcohol, I had to have a little momentary pause. I promise you it's not a long-term pause, but it was a momentary pause because I had to celebrate some good news. However, I'm back in the game, but that doesn't mean that I'm not affected by the game that happened earlier on. How you doing? Welcome back. Smash the like button for me on the video. Smash the subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the march to 10K, people. Come on. Just over 9K. It's wonderful things. Thank you to all your support. Thank you to all of you. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And we got a couple of the good, the bad, and the ugly in the background. We're going to bring them in. Before we get to you, let's get to them, shall we? First and foremost, we got, I'm not going to say which one of the three it is, but I'm going to bring him in. You make up your own mind. Let me know in the comments which one it is. We got Barry. What's crack-a-lackin' bazzer?
Well, it depends. It depends who it is, right? Depends who's next. I mean, I'm going to say I could be the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, all three, right?
You can be all three if you want. How you doing, mate? How you doing?
I'm good, Matt. I haven't streamed for a while, so yeah, I'm good. Had a fresh cut, especially it's like fate, right? Fate has brought us together on this summer evening. And Spurs are interested. We're signing players. We're back. No, we're not. We're really not.
Well, something's going on. We are somewhere, and that's the point of tonight's stream, guys. Like people in the comments, that is the point of tonight's stream. We're going to work together. There's 3 of us in the stream. I'm bringing in the third in a minute. She is definitely the good, and certainly not the bad or the ugly. She's the good and the beautiful, although she's got a little bit of spice about her because she comes from a certain part of Europe that we know. We've spoken about this. She is the European version of a Latina. You know, she. You know what we're gonna go with this. Let's bring her in. It's Mia. Welcome to the show, Mia. How you doing?
She's got a mic off.
You're on mute again.
It's because I'm muted because my bloody children are shouting at me.
Shut up, Mia's children. Good. Stop shouting.
They're a nightmare, honestly. Yeah,
no,
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Enjoying the sunshine.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been nice down here.
It's very hot.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it. I told you I'm hot-blooded, so I need the hot weather.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
I'm always terrified of saying anything, like that could inflame the situation. I feel like I'm going to get metaphorically thumped through the screen.
Yeah, I'll get a plate and metaphorically smash it for it over your head.
Yeah, listen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome everyone to the show. Let's say hello to people in the comments. There's 200 of you already in the house. We got to get through some live breaking news. By the way, I haven't even mentioned his name yet because I'm not even sure how to say his names. Guillermo, Vicario. I thought this was all 4D chess, and it might be 4D chess. We still don't know. But the news that's breaking tonight from Dimarzio that is now being also shared and syndicated by Romano is that it's not Raya. It's Vicario. But then Romano's saying, well, there's truth to it, but they also Tottenham really want Raya. So we don't know. We're going to have to figure it out. And we're going to get up the stats. We have to figure it out. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into anything else, let me say hello to some people. Oliver 234's in the house. Big up, Sean. Shame our transfer budget isn't big enough for Raya. That's a leading question, Oliver. It's a leading question. We're going to come back to that. Drew's in the house. What's happening, Drew? Ha ha ha. Clipped you. Yeah, you clipped me from the last show. I know what happened in the last show. Mia, why is your face? Why has everything gone weird? Why have we all been
You've put frames on, Sean.
Oh, for goodness sake. I've got to get rid of it, haven't I?
Yeah.
You just get rid of the frames, mate, because when you bring up the comments, we go.
All right.
All right.
I'm not very professional, are you? God, who at me not being professional?
I get the basics done, Mia. I turn on the microphone.
That's just basic, basic stuff.
Basic stuff is good enough. Rob Andrews in the house. Never new plan from Spurs. Gonna play 3 goalkeepers at once.
I like that idea.
Typical Levy. Drew's let's go, bro. Mark is in the house. What's happening, Mark? So is Ollie. What's happening? Sean, I'm delighted. I always wanted Vicario ever since Paul O'Keefe mentioned him yesterday. My dream signing for 24 hours. Tom Tacker's in the house as well. What's happening, Tom? So is Chris. So is Amit Kumar. Sharma left. Levy winging it with a goalkeeper signing, literally the most important position in the team sheet. No other club does this. Yet our clan fans defend this ball numpty. Showing your cards, Amit, like that. Daniel Borden saying big up, Sean. Congratulations. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, mate. I was out with my dad when it happened. I started to do a little fist pump, and he didn't know what I was talking about. Lynch 16, evening, Sean, and even in the chat. Good to see you, Coop. Good to see you, Coop. How's Alabama, my man? I hope you're having a good time down there. Hennessy's in the house as well, as is Groucho, as is Mark Mascalane, as is Sander Melinien. Haven't seen you for ages, mate. How are you? Hennessy's in the house. Paddy Hartnett. Barry got a trim. Looking slick, buddy. Barry, you're supposed to be doing the Emerson Bob. When is this happening, by the way?
Well, obviously it was not happening now because I've had the haircut, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen the week before the season starts. We're going to build up the excitement. We're going with the Emerson with the 12 in the side, on the side of the head.
Yeah.
It's going to be because I will be doing, well, hopefully I'll be doing the watch along for the Brentford game, but we will be doing it the week before the season. And yeah, we're going for the one that he posted on Instagram the other day. obviously, if you you should all be following Emerson on Instagram because there's some great content on there. But yeah, it's just a couple of zigzag lines, a 12 etched into the side of my head. I don't know how it's going to come out, but yeah, it's going to happen.
Okay. Let me listen. I'm turning on monetization, so I'm going to ask the two of you to do me a favor, and that is to not swear if possible.
Please do not swear.
Oh, look, I've just turned it on, and I literally just turned it on, and it's immediately limited. What is going on? What is going on?
It's because they know about your channel and the amount of swear words. So I don't cuss on my channel.
I don't even swear, Mia. I rarely swear. I'm a rarer, not a swearer. You know,
a rarer.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Is that a defender we're signing?
That is a defender we are signing. Look, when it comes down to it, if that's the case, then there's really nothing to benefit from doing these streams apart from to talk to you wonderful people and to see super chats from Crocodocs. Thank you so much, Super Chat. Really appreciate it. And also to get subscribed. If you haven't already hit the subscribe, I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to Mia's channel, Spurs Between the Lines. Make sure you subscribe to Bazza's channel, Shelf Side Spurs. I'll be getting those links up for you. But it's Crocodocs is saying, evening, gents. So that data-led system, obviously aren't using FB refs. Well, Crocodocs, this is one of the reasons why I've gone live, my man, because FB refs shows one set of stats. And can't think of the name of it. Y Scout shows an entirely different set. We're going to have to go through it in a minute. We're going to go through it together. We're going to figure out what's going on. Hennessy is saying, welcome, Mia. Van Football, big up Bazza and Mia. Let me see who else is going on. Zeddy's in the house. Everyone wants to be like Brighton until it's time to make a Brighton-like signing. That's absolutely spot on. I like that, mate. Underrated comment. Martin's in the house, as is Mia's not bad. Not bad or ugly, so up to you two to decide. She's the good. She's the good. You know, she's the good.
Oh, you guys are being too nice. I was like, I could rate on the ugly side.
No, she's bad, man. She's bad. You see that audio with everyone.
I think she's dangerous. I'm honest. She's absolutely dangerous.
Listen, you can't give my secrets away that I'm bad. You know what I mean? I'm all kinds of bad, but shush, we can't keep telling everyone this.
We got Moondog in the house. Big up for a super chat. Thank you both of you and Crocodocs. Good evening. I'm not excited about this goalie. I don't even know what to talk about how to figure it out with him. When I first did my research on him, I was like, the stats line up with what I've seen of him as an Empoli goalkeeper last season and in years gone by. And then when the news dropped, we pulled him up in the Y Scout tool. We're going to do it in a minute if you didn't see it on Henry's. And when you start to play with the figures to make him look like a sweeper keeper, he's basically just as good as David Raya. I'm going to show you why. Just bear with me, guys. Bear with me. So I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of like difference between FB refs and Y Scout. Anyway, Dazio's here. Vicario's good. Trust me. Mad FC is saying, who is Vicario? Let's go down. Who else is there? Oh, wait, well, I think we're at the bottom. Are we at the bottom? No, we're near the bottom. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Keep smashing the like button for me. 270 of you in the house, and we're going to get into it. All right, guys. Let's get the. Let's first and foremost just get the thing up. Where is he? Where's Romano? For those of you that have been living under a rock for the last hour, let's.
A rock is that our new signing?
What I like about Romano's tweets, right, is that we've got Tottenham have approached Empoli today for Vicario as the new goalkeeper. Talks taking place around a 20 million euro fee. Just above that, Newcastle's contract proposal to Sandro Tonali, more than double salary and also add-ons to be included. AC Milan are negotiating a 70 million euro deal structure to include add-ons. So they're going for a defender, and we're going for someone that we are not sure.
Are we competing with Newcastle? Are we expected as a fan base? Are we surprised that Newcastle are going to be able to just, pay 70 million, not even a question asked? Is that where we realistically should be comparing ourselves to?
No.
It's okay if you say yes. It's okay if you say yes because we have got multi-billionaire owners, but we haven't got billionaire. Like those guys are trillionaire owners. They're like endless wealth, right? So. Do you consider yourselves? Do you consider us to be competing with Newcastle in terms of wealth? in terms of like being able to pay those numbers? Mia, I'll start with you.
No, I don't think we are in comparison to them. Like, we've got to be realistic with what they can spend and what they will spend in comparison to us. They didn't last season, but they want to get a marquee signing in or two. And so it's not surprising that they're spending that money, where we've already, a lot of people have said that we're not on that level and we have to understand where we are. So I just don't think we're going to get in. We're not going to be in for him. What I'm trying to say is that if we were both in for a player, that's different, a bit like what's happening with Maddison deal. But we're not in for this guy. So it's not like we're even trying to compete on that level for that.
Tonali's an incredible player, though. He's an incredible player. Like,
he is
sensational. I don't know how he's going to fit into the system, Mia. Like, for me, I sit there and think, are they going to play 4-3-3? Are they going to play Grimerish in the 6? Are they going to play Tamale in the 8? Let me know in the comments how you see Tamale fitting in. He's a worldie, or he could be a worldie, and it's concerning. But you know what? Like, at this point in time, with what's happened, before we get in, like, let's spend. I know everyone wants to talk about Vicario and stuff, so let's build up to that for a second, guys. And everyone, there's 330 people in the chat. Smash the like button for me. Smash the subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure you go over to Spurs Between the Lines and to Shellside Spurs. Mia, if you can put your link into my private chat, and the same with you, Nick, then I'll make sure I'll pump it out 100 times for everybody to help you guys out. But whilst we're doing that, before we get into Vicario, like, I do want to talk for a minute about this Saudi Arabian thing.
Yeah.
Right. Like, am I the only person am I losing my mind and everybody else is like they don't care or they don't see the problem that I see? Have you guys seen the Ruben Neves deal or the suspected rumor that he's already signed for Al Ittihad or Al Hilal, whichever one it is?
Al Hilal.
I don't know whichever club it is. I've got it. There's four clubs. There's 4 clubs in Saudi Arabia that are owned by the PIF fund, right? The Saudi Arabian PIF fund, and every single club that Chelsea is offloading their deadwood to happens to be owned by the PIF.
Yeah.
And the one club that bought or is going to buy Ruben Neves for 50 million from Wolves, it didn't make sense to me. I was like, it makes sense if everyone's 32 that are at the end of their career, but Wolves pay they pay 55 million to Wolves for this guy, and he's immediately maybe going to be loaned to Newcastle. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, what's the benefit of that? Well, you know what the benefit is? Like, Newcastle can have a world-class player, and Ruben Neves, he's maybe not world-class, but Ruben Neves could get into 4 of the top 6 teams, right? 100%, which is why the story didn't make any sense to me. And him going to Saudi Arabia and getting paid 2-3 times as much money as he's going to get at Wolves or anywhere else in the UK, and then immediately going to get loaned back to Newcastle. So Newcastle end up, and this is obviously hypothetical because it's not necessarily going to happen, but if it does happen, what sort of precedent does it set? They're not even hiding it. They're not even hiding the scam anymore, that Newcastle can just loan someone for free from a club that is paying this guy. The only reason he went there is because he's doubling his wages, so he doesn't care. He's parked there for 5 minutes, moving to he probably didn't even get a flight to Saudi Arabia for a medical. He probably went straight to Newcastle for a medical, if it's true. Like, what is going on? Like, hang on.
Yes.
24Z saying he's not being loaned, Sean. That was fake. How do you know it's fake? How do you know it's fake? It could be fake. It might not be. But the concept, even if it's not true, the concept is very plausible when we're talking about what is going on with Saudi Arabian money infecting football. Nobody knew 48 hours ago, or no one was talking about, maybe people that did know knew but weren't talking about it, the fact that Chelsea are essentially indirectly, if not owned by, then influenced by, and there's mutual beneficiaries. The people that own Newcastle have the majority stake, or at least the highest stake in the Clear Lake Capital, who are the majority owner of Chelsea.
It's definitely muddy. It's muddy in the waters, and I said that myself. And when I said earlier, because I said the same thing on my channel, because everyone's like, why are you so bothered? I'm like, because this isn't right. There's something going to happen. Like, it just takes a few of the players that are younger to get their heads turned for this to then become a thing where players do go there, and like you say, they could do other things with the loans, and it could end up really muddying the waters with football, like seriously, within the Premier League, and that's not a good thing.
What are we supposed to do, Mia? Nick, both of you guys, like Daniel Levy, like put just for a second, if everyone in the chat, there's 400 of you here, love it, smash the like, really appreciate it. You guys have sent me your links, correct? I'm gonna put the links out now.
Yep.
Whilst I'm doing that, okay, guys, I need every one of you to just hit this link for me. Okay, hit these links for me. Do me a favor, share some love, smash this link that you're seeing in the comments. There's 400 of you here right now. If 50 or 100 of you just tap that link, another tab will open up and you can smash and subscribe to Mia. She's an awesome girl who is bringing value. She's coming up in the YouTube game. Help her out, and at the same time do exactly the same thing for my boy Nick above me. Where's his link as well, guys? Just do that.
Even though Nick's in the mud because of Alex,
he's always in the mud. Always
in the mud, man.
I'm not in the mud because of him. Oh my god, I'll be in the mud about plenty of things, but not him.
Smash those likes, guys. Just bring that up, bring the links up, and then click the link, hit the subscribe, and then you can check them out later on. Help the guys out, get to their next numbers. But guys, like, let's just talk for a second about the feasibility of where we're at. Right? Are we not concerned about what is the point? Do you take Daniel Levy as a chairman? You might hate him. You might think he haggles too much over 2 million here, 2 million there, whatever. But that guy is doing as best he can. Put aside his nonsense. I agree with everyone who's got a problem with his negotiating skills, his ego, his greediness, whatever, all that stuff. But put that to one side. He's trying to get blood from a stone from that stadium, from 50 feet below the stadium to 50 feet above it. He's got ways to monetize it because he's trying to work within the system. Are we kidding ourselves if Chelsea are able to just go and buy any player they want, like they did last summer, like they did in January? And then the players that don't work out, they'll just offload to Saudi Arabia, and potentially then those Saudi Arabian clubs will just loan them back out to the top 5 clubs in Europe.
When you think about it, potentially, if Man U get taken over, we've got Newcastle, Man City and Chelsea. They're going to basically make their own version of a Super League within the Premier League. Yeah, because they're going to be able to. They're going to be so far ahead from everybody else because of being able to find all these loopholes every single time. They cut off one loophole and then they just find another. That's the problem.
I just think the rules from whoever sets the rules from the Premier League or whoever, they thought that all the clubs are not going to try and find ways around it. Look, businessmen and rich people are rich for a reason, right? They're not rich because they're nice people. They've probably all done some horrible things to get to the position that they are. I'm not saying that they, I'm not saying they've done whatever, but the whole thing is corrupt. The rich just keep on getting richer, and for Chelsea to go and, what is it? Mendy for 40 million, Koulibaly for 40 million, Ziyech for 48 million. Then there's talk of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. There's talk of, they're going to make like half the money that they spent back. And then
not just that, mate, right?
They'll go and do it again, right?
You've got good players like think of Koulibaly, and you go, all right, they paid 30 million for him and they're going to sell him for 25. He's a good player. Maybe he did or maybe he didn't figure it out in the Premier League, but he's talented. A lot of teams. I wanted him at Tottenham, didn't figure out for him for whatever reason. But you look at someone like Davinson Sanchez at Tottenham. In January, there was offers in for Davinson Sanchez that Tottenham were willing to accept, allegedly. And Davinson Sanchez said, nah, I'm not interested because I'm never going to get paid the salary that I'm getting at Tottenham in Europe because Europe can't afford it. And that's the same principle of the what I've been presenting as the concerns that people should have about Todd Bowley's expense. They were very clever with the way they spent money last season, and like the amortization over 8-9 years for players like Mudryk. How do you afford to pay these people? How do you do that from an FFP perspective? But I was like, they haven't thought about how difficult it's going to be to sell these players into Europe, even if they can accept a lower bid. The player is under no obligation to leave the club if they're going to have to accept a 50% cut on their salary. Look at Ndombele, look at Sanchez, look at Lo Celso, look at Harry bloody Winks. And they figured it out because they just go to Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia is going to pay 3-4 times what they're getting paid. So if Sanchez wasn't wanted by Tottenham, but was wanted by Saudi Arabia, he would go. And when you're thinking about FFP is not just about how much money you spend on fees. It's how much money you spend on wages and agents and all that stuff. And so Chelsea have a way to get all those numbers off the books by selling it into Saudi Arabia. Like the game is rigged, Nick, isn't it? Like I don't know where we're going to go from here, mate. And especially if Manchester United get bought by Qatar, then you've got essentially Man United, Man City, Abu Dhabi, and Qatar, and then you've got Newcastle, which is Saudi Arabia, and you've got indirectly Chelsea, which is Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And the only other teams that are around you is Arsenal and Liverpool. And both of those teams have always been more successful than Tottenham have. I just don't see how. And people are saying, "Oh, we've got to be better. We've got to be better with our spend. We've got to be using data modeling, and all that stuff is true. We have to be more efficient, but you're never going to get it 100% right. You're never going to get it 100% right. I feel like the game is crooked now. It's beyond reprieve a little bit. Am I being a little bit hyperbolic, or do you guys share my fears?
No, well, look at what happened. Look at what happened with the World Cup. They just threw a load of money at it. We'll do it in December. FIFA then approved it. We need to have it. We're going to do it. We're going to change seasons. We're going to change fixtures. We're going to do whatever to bend over backwards. Here's another 100 mil or a nice watch or a sports car and everything else. And look, I'm not saying that it didn't go on before, but maybe not to this extent, right? If someone wanted to sign, let's take the young kid that we've signed, or stopped from leaving. But yeah, probably there was here's a nice car for your dad, or with a nice holiday, or a villa in Spain, or what have you, right? But not to this extent. This is like crazy. This is basically saying, Chelsea, go and sign whoever you want, and if it doesn't work, we're going to back you up because we're going to cover you with the payments and inflated payments and whatever we need to do to cover you so that you're showing from in the right way from financial fair play.
Yeah, I just don't know where financial fair play goes. If there's not an investigation into this, if there isn't, and even if there is, and in a nutshell, nothing will change. Nothing has ever changed. It's just they kick the can down the road. But
they had 115 charges or whatever it is, but they'll end up paying. They'll get the best lawyers in the world that will find a loophole. There'll always be a loophole that someone will find to exploit.
Of course,
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I said.
There's never a crime before the crime. There's never a law before the crime. Is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, Mia. Go on. And welcome, Perch. How you doing, mate?
Yeah,
Mia.
Yeah. I was saying the exact same thing, wasn't I? That as soon as one door gets closed off, they just find another one. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what they're going to continuously do because they're smart enough to be able to figure it out. And there's no FFP rules in Saudi, so they can just literally do whatever the heck they like when it comes over there. They've got literally no rules. So the possibilities are endless for them to what they can get away with.
It's terrifying. I don't know where we're going to go from it. Perch, how are you feeling about this? We are going to move on away from the Saudi Arabian stuff. We are going to bring in all of the noise about Vicario and David Raya. We'll talk about that in 5 minutes. But before we do, let's just finish the Saudi Arabian stuff off. Perch, how you doing, mate? First and foremost, welcome to the show.
Good,
by the way, also, if you send me the link to your channel in the private chat, then I'll be able to pump it out into the.
Go on, then.
Yeah. What's your take on Saudi? And Chelsea?
Listen, it's chaos. What I like playing a game now. I go to bed and go, which player is going to be linked to a move to Saudi Arabia in the morning? So I wake up and go, I got it right today because it's normally someone random. I didn't get Koulibaly today because I think that was today's.
Is it like Saudi Arabia bingo? Is that what
kind
we're
of?
playing?
It's Saudi Arabian bingo. So you just wake up in the morning and go, this is who it is. It's not.
I've got a full house. Yes, full house.
Literally. Seriously though, listen, it is what it is. Really, there's not much you can do about it. Is it right? Probably not. Listen, do we wish? Are we maybe in our own a bit jealous that none of our dross is getting sold over there for loads of money so we can start recruiting? I'll be honest, I'm a little bit jealous because I would like the likes of Davinson Sanchez getting a £40 million move to some Saudi Arabian club, or the likes of Ryan Sessegnon or Højbjerg or whoever. Really, doesn't really matter. So yeah, am I jealous of what's going on with Chelsea? Yes, but they've got dross that is sellable dross. We've got dross that isn't sellable. And I think that's the key bit for me. That's the only bit that I'm irritated that we can't seem to get rid of our players.
Well, what do you think about? Let's move the conversation forward then, and talk about the news tonight. I mean, I was on Henry Wright's show, and I feel like I embarrassed myself because I got put onto a full screen, and I said, I do not believe for a second this is anything other than 4D chess. We are not signing Guillermo Vicario. This is Daniel Levy at his finest. He is playing 4D chess. We are going to sign David Raya. Boff. And then within 3 seconds.
John's in the mud. Don't tell me.
Tottenham have officially confirmed that the deal is almost done. Waiting for contracts to be signed for Vicario.
Okay, I'm going to put a little positive spin. And it's a very, very small positive spin. At least we're going to have a goalkeeper on the opening day of pre-season. But second of all, listen, I don't know enough about this kid to even comment, really. I do love already. I've already seen people on Twitter already going about, oh, he's a great signing, blah, blah, blah. Really? You didn't even know who he was 2 days ago. You didn't even know the name, let's be honest. And listen, he could be one of these. It could be an absolute stroke of genius. It could be. We don't know. I don't know enough about him to even comment. But
do you think this is?
It's probably
the other thing. The other thing this could be is: do you think this is Tottenham or whoever or someone trying to force Brentford's hand for David Raya?
Yes, well, that's what I thought it was.
Barry, or it could be a curveball that we're going to bring this lad in, but he's going to be the number 2, and we're going to get rid of Forster as well. Listen, I'm not saying that is going to happen. I don't know. I'm just, as I said, I don't know enough about this kid to even know if he's any good. I haven't got a clue. And
I can't believe we buy it. He's never going to come into place second fiddle to a guy that's.
No. I'm on about we go and bring in David Raya as well, or insert other goalkeeper. We bring in 2 goalkeepers. I'm saying. He'd never come in to play backup. It's one thing to be a rotational like left back or centre midfielder or whatever, but if you're like a rotational goalkeeper, it means you're essentially like playing cup games, right? And sure, why not? No disrespect. He's playing at Empoli. No disrespect. He's playing at Empoli. No disrespect to the club, but he's there on loan from Udinese. So, like, my point being is he wasn't even first. He isn't first choice in Udinese. He couldn't even get a start at their team. So, the theory is no disrespect. We're a bigger football club than they are. So, there is an opportunity that this could be a number 2. By the way, this is just hypotheticals. I haven't got any idea. I'm just trying to break it down because it doesn't make any sense to me. If this guy's coming in, it can't be, can it?
Actually, it's Tottenham. Why would it make sense?
Nothing makes sense of this football club, Mia.
I'm saying, that's what I mean. Like, it kind of makes sense because it doesn't make sense. Doesn't that not make sense because it's Tottenham?
All right, I'll tell you why it might make sense.
Here we go. I like it. Here we go.
Not to play number 2, but why it might make sense to bring him in instead of Raya, right? So I'm going to show you guys the stat. I can't obviously. I'd love to be able to show you guys the highlight reels, the lowlight reels, or whatever. But can't do that.
Look, just while you get that up, Sean. That's
what she said.
Hey. Inter Milan were linked with him. Bayern Munich a few months ago were linked to him. So I don't.
Were they though? Where have you read this?
In some Italian newspaper. I've just typed his name into Google. Obviously, he's not everything in Google's correct, but I was gonna see if he'd won a trophy. If he'd won a trophy, then obviously Mr. Box Office would come on and start telling us that he's got some
winning mentality.
And then he's going to talk about Keith Birkinshaw and and everything else, right? And then go around the houses.
And then he'll say back to Sean, I'm done.
And don't forget, he's going to talk about how he doesn't want to do no research because his research is when he goes to the stadium.
He'll do his research when he watches him playing goal.
Yeah.
All right. Let me show you through like the reason why some people are excited about him, right? Because I agree with you, Perch. I think that most people are not going to be too familiar with Empoli and the goalkeeping style, how Empoli play. I think that most people are just going to give it this kind of like courtesy look. But if you glance down, this is obviously get rid of that. How do I get rid of that stupid ad? When we're looking for a sweeper keeper, it's different to obviously a goalkeeper, right? But these are the reasons why a lot of people would say not someone we want, right? If you're playing a sweeper keeper with a high line, you're going to need to have a goalkeeper who comes outside of the area. This guy, defensive actions outside of the penalty area, less than 2 times every 3 games, in the bottom 22 percentile of all goalkeepers in the bottom 5 leagues, which is a worry if you want a sweeper keeper. Average distance of defensive actions is 11 meters. So he doesn't want to hit the ball long, doesn't want to clear it. He wants to play it from the back. That comes down to the last 7 percentile. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. The red doesn't mean a bad thing. If you want a keeper who plays the ball out of the back and looks to the defenders, then that's a good thing. And a lot of people are making this this comparison with David Raya. David Raya is incredibly strong at banging the ball long into the channels and finding the intended target. When he had Ivan Toney in front of him, he had in no small part the reason why he had ridiculously high long ball accuracy is because he was banging it in the air to a guy who was incredible in the air, and Ivan Toney. This guy, it looks like it's a bad thing to have bottom 7 percentile when it comes to distance. But if you are Postecoglou, who likes to build from the back and give it to your defenders who break the line, break the forward line, and then from there invoke the necessary action of a midfielder to come and press them, and then they pass it to someone in the space who moves it forward to a James Maddison, then there's nothing necessarily wrong about being someone who passes the ball short. Cross his face, this guy is very capable when it comes to getting the ball out of the air. He's tall enough, he's strong at it. Where I have problems with him is in the rest, right? He's a very good shot stopper, but is he that good at being able to launch the ball with his hands? Launch percentage, I think, is with the hands, right? So how good are you at doing what Edison and people like the fella at Liverpool, Alisson, do? Like launching the ball with your left and your right into the channels and getting it, at pace with low height and high velocity into those spaces. Not great. He's not great at doing that. But he's not a bad goalkeeper. But some of these stats make him look bang average. So I understand why people that are looking at this would have you think and would believe that he isn't all that. Where I'm going to go with this, though, is if you pivot to, and I know I'm talking a lot, so just bear with me 1 second. I want to show you guys.
You're talking a lot, Sean. Never. Can't believe that.
He started this question 15 minutes ago. We should have
question.
I'm actually lost. I'm lost to what the question actually is, to be honest with you.
It's not a question. It's an education. It's an education. Right?
I'm not at school, Sean. Blimey.
Yeah, go on. Put
But
your tie on.
This is what I want to show you guys, okay? When you start to dial in things like, the same... Oh, Jesus, what's going on here?
Oh,
come back.
Don't type P in that search engine.
When you dial in things like, in the Y Scout tool, how good is his accuracy of passes? What is his... I'm not sure if you can see this, guys, but how many clean sheets, his conceded goals per 90, his percentage save rate, how many goals has he prevented per 90? Obviously, that comes down to the opposite of XG, like minus XG. What's his ability to keep goals out? What's he like in the air? And what's he like interceptions? When you start to dial that stuff in, this is where I'm a little bit more interested in him than I was yesterday when I did a video about him. When you dial this stuff in, and I did this on Henry Wright show, so I've got the same data up, right? When you're looking at someone who's good with 58, 60% of his long passes are accurate. When you look at his accuracy in the passes into the final third at 50%. When you look at his accuracy of passes in general at 75%. His interceptions, that's a reasonable level. The amount of times that he actually comes out of the area, which is not represented on FB Refs the way it is on Y Scout tool. And when you go through all this stuff, what you're left with is exactly the same bunch of goalkeepers that I previously looked at when doing the research into David Raya to work out why David Raya was the perfect sweeper keeper. And guess whose name is right beneath him? It's Vicario from Empoli.
Teacher,
But
can
he
I ask a
does cost
question?
half as much.
You didn't put your hand
David
up,
Raya
Perch.
does.
You've got to put
Sorry.
your hand up.
No, I'm done now.
My question is are we signing Buffon or are we signing Galini?
Yeah, but I think Perchy, the question is we've all spoken about this, right? We've all spoken about us wasting money or
Agreed.
overspending
I was
on
just about to
players
get there on my
and
serious
everything else,
point.
right? So actually, could this be a point where we're doing what we've been asking to do, and because we're Tottenham fans, we're never happy. We're never happy if we've gone for Raya, but now we're going for someone that's half the price. But a week ago, we wanted to invest properly and find
But
some
you know,
gems and
I was just
diamonds
going to get there. I said we were talking when we signed Postecoglou that we might get these unknown signings that we've not heard of, and we need to back this what it is. So that's why I'm not going to be sitting there going absolutely crazy like I've seen loads of people do, because otherwise it makes me a bit of a hypocrite for basically saying when Postecoglou comes in, I'm expecting these unknown names that I've not heard of. So I'm not a hypocrite. So I'll stand by that and go, listen, I will, from what Sean's saying, makes a lot of sense. If we're comparing actual data against it, he's on the same level as David Raya, but half the price. So listen, this could be a stroke of genius. We'll wait and see. We don't know. And this is, I'm not going to be sitting there going all crazy. Oh, we're bringing this lad like I know who he is. I haven't seen him play. Again, didn't know who he was 2 days ago. I couldn't lie until we were linked with him yesterday. But I think, but we also have to remember that we all made that sort of mental agreement that we weren't expecting to be signing these enormous names. We might be seeing names that we've not heard of. And I think that bit is the one that I've sort of sat back and gone, okay, I'll sit back and I'll wait and see how this goes.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate that, Perch. You know, I don't think most people knew who the Empoli goalkeeper was 2 days ago.
Of course.
No, I listen. I do remember him. I have looked into it. I've seen his name, but I'll be entirely honest with you as well. I came out yesterday and did a video and said the stats do not add up. He's nowhere near as good as David Raya, right? And I put a video out. I was like, it's like it doesn't make sense. I don't want us to sniff it and miss it for a biscuit. However, I was looking at the FB refs, and then I just thought it was a nonsense 4D chess thing. Comes out today, and it looks like it's not that. I was wrong. So maybe there's more truth to it. And I've dialed in a little bit more attention. And actually, the stats, when you dial it in and look at the specificities of the sweeper keeper, his name is there as frequently as a lot of the other sweeper keepers are, like Milenkovic, Savic, and Rulli, and all those lights. So maybe to your point, Perch, it might just be as almost as good at half the price, and then the money that we're saving could be put elsewhere. Mia, what's your thoughts? And then I'll come to Barry.
For me, if it's someone that Ange wants, then I want him. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he wanted Raya and we didn't get Raya, we're going to have to understand that we can't always get the first choice. Normally, it's not really about having a first, second, third. Normally, there's a few names in the pot. And if this is a name in the pot that Postecoglou wants, then for me, that's absolutely fine. Like, I'm happy with that. I don't really, as you know, Sean, I'm not someone who really goes off the deep end about much, to be like honest anyway. I'm quite a level-headed person about most stuff. So for me, as long as we get a goalkeeper and Postecoglou's happy with him, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think
and Nick, what's your thoughts, mate? Having seen the stats, again, when you dial up the metrics of what happens for a sweeper keeper and he starts to stand out more than he looks like he does on FB reps, does that change your opinion of him a little bit, or where are you at with it?
Look, I think, like I just kind of said, I look, like we all said, no one knows, no one knows who he is, or didn't know of him until half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago, an hour ago, or what have you, right? So, I think, yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of like, do we need someone like David Raya? Yes, but when you look into it, and if we're looking at it, if we're looking at it from a stats point of view, not an eye test or anything else, then the stats back it up, right? But I'm kind of a little bit like it just stinks of everything that's happened in the past, right? It just stinks of.
It does. You're right, Barry. You're right in what you say there. But as I said, as I was mentioning earlier, have we got to just sort of put the past in the past for a second? Listen, if it all falls down on us, we can all go, okay, it is what it is. Like it is. This is the first time that, for example, I would be annoyed if this was a signing under like a Conte, not the sort of player that he would want. And but I look at it and go, I can't remember who it was. Someone put it in there, and big up to you, whoever it was in the chat, made a great point. When Ange went in at Celtic, he went and signed loads of players no one had ever heard of. And look how it turned out. He went and won five out of 6 trophies. Do you know what I mean? So, listen, I think as a fan base, I think we just have to stay a bit calmer. I think people going crazy because we're so hurt from the past. We're so hurt from the past, and we've seen this happen, and we know in our heads, we all know how it's going to end up. But maybe it could be a stroke of genius. I don't know. I don't know what I've drunk to be so positive today, but I'm just trying to be a bit level-headed with it at the moment. And not
okay, well, let me take that. Let me take that idea and run with it for a second. By the way, guys, everyone's got their. You've seen all the guys. I've put their comments in the. I've put their links in there. Everyone, please. There's 600 people in the house. Right, all these guys' channels. If 20% of you can just hit those links, bang, bang, bang. Another tab will open up. Hit the subscribe. Show the love. They always come onto everyone's channel, contributing to the community. They're trying to get their own metrics, their own hit the thousands or whatever. Just help them out. Smash those likes and links for them, and hit the subscribes. I want to run with what you just said regarding why are you positive, and you're not sure, right? Because I think we're all in a space of like, what's going on? It's like David Raya, whatever was going on with this fella. But for me, yesterday was a day when everyone threw the toys out of the pram. Like I watched a lot of people on a lot of different channels yesterday, and it was 180 on the positivity that had existed in the temporary moment of Postecoglou coming in. Everybody was kind of pulling in the same direction. And then as soon as David Raya was apparently off because Paul O'Keefe said something, everyone went mental. There was a meltdown. I thought it was hilarious. I didn't understand why. And I want to talk to you. I want to use this link tonight. If we are maybe going to get this fella in and save 20 million, does that make sense if it means that we are going to then go after maybe the difference in valuation for Maddison, or maybe we're going to go and get Edmund Tapsoba, which was another link that came out today. And to me, Romano put this out there. He is statement signing centre-back quality.
Agreed.
He is a legend, right? He's going to be a top tier player. And if Tottenham can get him at 30 or 40, whatever it is, then I'm all over that with like beans on toast.
Mm-hmm.
Perch, I'll come to you first. Are you okay with Vicario if it means that the money we're saving, can we go and get Tapsoba? Is that a mutual compromise you're okay with?
I'm from what you're saying, I get what you're saying. I agree. There's a big if. If the deal has to be done very quickly. One of these, I don't want us to see us, if the fees, what I think you said it was about 23, 24 million quid here and there, give or take, whatever you want to call for him. If we are going to be doing this, that someone like him has to be in next Friday. And I mean that. We need these players in by pre-season when they all walk in together.
When does pre-season start?
Normally it's 1st of July, but I could be wrong, give or take, but most of it's normally 1st of July.
Let me know in the comments, chat what's going on. You guys, anyone know when pre-season starts?
We play West Ham on the 14th, I believe, or the 8th, something like that. So we play. So it will be at some point in the first week of July, give or take. There you go, July 3rd. There you go. So this time, sort of in a couple of weeks. For me, it's got to happen now that we get these things over the line and done. I don't want to see this. Oh, Spurs don't want to meet the valuation for Tapsoba. No. If we're going to go and get a cheaper goalkeeper that, based on the stats, is on the sort of level that is David Raya, you've shown us that. Let's just use that as gospel for just 1 second. I've got no problems with that. But I don't want to be seeing. I want us to see that the fee's 25 million quid for Tapsoba or whatever it is. Bang, done. He's going to have his medical next week. Things like this have to happen quickly now.
Yeah, all right.
It's all well and good. It's all well and good doing all this with David Raya, but then if the other end of it doesn't happen, then it is a disaster.
Yeah, Nick, what's your thoughts, mate? Are you compass mentis with the concept of Vicario? Good, not worldy, but 20 million. But with that, you can go and buy yourself a statement signing. We can't compete with Saudi Arabia. We can't compete with Chelsea, with Newcastle, with blah, 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 all that nonsense. But we can, if it means we save 10 here, we can go and get the better player there. What's more important to you? How important is Tapsoba? Do you know him? Do you like him? What's your thoughts on Tapsoba?
Just with Vicario, I've just, I asked Iggy because obviously Iggy knows a lot about Italian league. He's just said he's spoken well of in Italy. Whether he'll do well in the Premier League, who knows? He's a very tall guy, 6'5". He was playing in Serie C in 2017, so he's moved up the ranks quite quick. But nobody knows how he'll handle the Prem till he gets here. Look, I think if it means that you got to look at it. We don't know what the transfer budget is because we haven't been told. Obviously, I think credit where credit's due. We got a great deal for Kulu over for what we're paying for him. Obviously, we've got to pay for Porro. So is that half the budget? I guess we'll never know, right? So, and we know we need centre backs. We know we need,
Yeah.
So if it's a case of having to. Look, 40 million would be the third highest goalkeeper in the Premier League. Do I think David Raya is the third best goalkeeper the Premier League's ever seen? I don't think so. In today's market, 40 million for a homegrown player. I mean, it suits Tottenham, right? Because Tottenham need a decent goalkeeper. However,
yeah, that's important as well. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
However, David Raya was playing behind a defence that was arguably a lot better than Spurs' defence. So actually putting him in there, does that 40 million signing for Raya become another signing that we got wrong? And if it means that we then have to miss out on a top quality defender or a top quality midfielder because finances and that dictates it in the world that it is, I'd rather go and get that because look, at the end of the day, if Vicario doesn't work, let's just say, Forster wasn't horrible when he played. I'm not saying it's the answer. I just think that we have to go and get that centre back. We have to go and get that top quality centre back. And if that means that we have to scrimp on the goalkeeper, then I guess that's what we're going to have to do, right? Because we have a budget, we have it. We can't just go 40 million here, 40 million there, 40 million there. We spend 200. We're not going to spend 200 million in this summer, unless all of a sudden something happens with Kane or Son or something else, and the money gets reinvested. But
okay. So how much money do you think is just absent net? Right, like forget about Harry Kane or anyone else going. What is Lewis and Levy gonna inject? We'll call it an injection.
120 million tops, I reckon.
120 million, and then whatever else we get from sales. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, but I just wanted to sort of pick up a point, and it's a really good point. I just thought of just now about this Vicario thing quickly, and it was just the one thing that we all said that we wanted to be like. We now have to try and it was kind of what I mentioned earlier. We kind of have to just sort of buy into it. We all went on this thing about why can't we be like Brighton? This is the sort of signing Brighton make, and then we all go in to
No, 1,000,000%. Great point.
In 2 years' time, everyone goes, oh my God, he's an amazing player. Let's sign him. And he's 60 million quid. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. But for me, this is where I've got to feel at the moment. As I said, I can't be a hypocrite. I said before Ange came in, I said, listen, I want us to be like Brighton, finding these hidden gems. This guy could be a hidden gem for all we know.
Yeah.
And-
It's a really good point. It's a really,
And do you
really
know what
good point.
else?
Like,
What
go on,
I
Mia.
would say is that everybody would have said, oh, they would have probably looked into this goalkeeper, watched some bits about him, said a few things. Oh, look what a keeper Brighton got. They would have been like, oh, Brighton doing fantastic business. So it feels like that we say that some, not all fans, but some fans do that. And then when we get a keeper who could potentially be a very good signing, who actually looks decent, and Ange wants him, we're like, oh no, cheap signing, don't want him.
I think the key bit here is that is this signing being done through a Postecoglou system, and it's not just our scouts just gone and picked someone up because they've seen him on Football Manager sort of thing, or they haven't even done any sort of proper research in it. That's the key. But I think Jacob made a good point. He said, when do we get it right? But this is the point. That's where I want to look at it.
Then I looked. Sorry, go on.
No. I was just going to say it all depends. This is all dependent on who scouted it and how we scouted it.
I listened before I come on to Charlie Eccleston, he said that basically at the moment the way it works is that Postecoglou will look at players and he will go to our recruitment. He will say what he kind of thing he wants, and they will scout players for him. They're saying that is currently how it's working because there's no DOF. Because don't forget, he hasn't worked under a DOF normally, so he's actually well aware of being able to kind of say what he wants and sort of like expressing it quite well. So what's saying this isn't actually Ange that said I like this goalkeeper, or they've gone to Ange and said, do you like this goalkeeper? And he's went, I'll go and look at him, see if I like him, if he's on my list. So
Mia, do you think that Ange isn't scheduled to start for another 12 days? 1st of July is his first official day.
He's definitely starting already.
Yeah,
he hasn't officially started. He would have gone, guys, let's look at. I was looking at this guy at Celtic. I was looking at this guy. Do what you can. He would have put a short list out of players already that he would have gone, let's have a look into
100%. Yeah, no, 100% he would have. Because they said that he already had the meeting with them talking about what he wants and that with the transfers. And he spoke, as that's what Kulu said. Kulu said the manager wanted me. So that means that he had a say in it, and did have a say in it. A lot of people were trying to twist it and say, oh, it wasn't an Ange sign and he didn't want him, but Kulu come out and said the manager wanted me. So that means that Postecoglou's already having a say over players.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair shout. I think, and this is what I said when everyone sort of jumped to me when I said about Kulusevski, because everyone went, oh, you hate him. And I was like, no, I don't. I actually think he's great player. Huh? No, I debated the whole debate about, oh, should we sign him or not? And that's just my argument is if the manager wants him there and we've got a position for him to play and a system for him to play, then I'm all for it. It's a good deal. But I didn't want us just to sign it because it was a good deal. That was my argument. And listen, if the manager wants him, then I'm more than happy for that. I think that's a key part of it.
And for Checkmate in the comments, if you go and look at his quotes, he said the manager wanted me. He did say that. That was quoted. I know what I quoted, what he quoted. Because
what was that?
He said Kulu didn't say that. He did say that. If you go and look at the quotes, he said that.
We can go get receipts if we have to. We go and get receipts. We have to.
I know that the thing is,
there's no one who's got more receipts. I've got more receipts than Tesco's.
Sean's got more receipts.
Sean's trying to claim the VAT back on those receipts as well.
I got the VAT. Bazza, let me ask you a question, mate. If you were to ask, and I'll go. This is a panel question. I'll go to each of you, but I'm going to start with you, Bazza. Justify the answer. If Tottenham are going to make us one statement signing, right, and it could be Raya, or it could be Vicario, it could be Maddison, or it could be insert whoever you fancy there, or it could be Tapsoba, or it could be Laporte, or it could whatever, right? If you want one statement signing, if Tottenham are going to make £150+ million here now, ready now, going to inject excellence into a gaping hole into Tottenham this season, and you only get one, which position do you think it should be in, and why?
Look, we know we've been talking about centre backs for God knows how long, and I don't actually think, if you look at we look at going forward, It's never really been a problem. The defense has always, aside of since Toby and Jan, the defense has been the issue. It needs to be a centre back, whether that's a left centre back or a centre back or whatever. It's never be. We haven't invested in that area properly, and that needs to be where the focus needs to be. For me, I'm not. Yes, we need more. We know we need more. We know we've got hundreds of thousands of questions.
I know, but the question was, you get one statement signing, one player that everyone goes, ooh, that's what I'm talking about. But it only happens once this summer. Who is it? Is it James Madison? Is it Tapsoba? Is it Laporte?
I think
pick your position, pick your player.
I think it's Laporte.
I doubt I'll put this out there now. I would put €100 into my charity stream if we sign Laporte. I'm adamant it's not happening.
How many hundreds you bet now into that?
I'll put a few. There'll be a few. If a few things happen to the charity, he's going to be absolutely buzzing because of me.
Percy will be doing the next stream, 24-hour stream from the beach because he's got nowhere to live.
No, his missus kicked him out because he's making all these bets to himself with the internet.
Because I can't pay the rent.
So everyone in the comment, there's a few people. There's a few people that are going elsewhere. What we got? We got Trevor. What's happening, Trev? Good to see you, my man. He's saying his statement signing is keeping Kane, and that's an interesting take. And maybe that could be more important than everyone else. But if I was going to bang through this, cynical dad saying Madison, Tapsoba, centre half, Tapsoba, Hincapia, centre half, Laporte, centre half. Everybody is saying, with the exception of a few,
crying.
Marco's saying a DMC number 6. Don't disagree with that. Centre half, Laporte, centre half. Everyone's after a centre half. Mick Clesby saying a Bremer, Gleison Bremer. Anyone in the panel want to make an argument that the most important signing is not a centre back?
No, I mean, I would honestly, I don't know how. I think unless people in the chat are happy that we have Eric Dorian Sanchez playing at centre half next, we could get Barry's boy Emerson at right back. If you don't know,
he's an absolute shoo-in in Big Ange's system.
That says it all.
He is a shoo-in. He is a shoo-in. He's an absolute shoo-in. For me, he will play. If he stays injury-free, I'll make a little... Tell you what, Perch, I know that I'm sure you'll do a 24-hour charity stream later on in the year. I'll make a... And you can clip this. Not a big bet, but I would say that if he stays injury-free, Emerson Royale will play more minutes next season than Bissouma or than Højbjerg. I like someone who's going to be like a mainstay. I think Emerson Royale is going to be a mainstay part of the team next year.
There you go. There you go, guys. It's someone in the chat's already clipped that, and you haven't even put the phone down. What are we saying? Put price tag down. Come on.
Price
tag. What's
okay, all right. For the purposes of the charity, pick a player that you think will play more minutes than Emerson.
Okay, that's fine. More than Emerson. I mean, obviously, I could easily go and pick I'll make it fair.
Harry Kane.
Yeah, go pick Harry Kane.
No. Someone that's
Barry. My luck is we'll sell Harry Kane next week. That's what would happen.
Yeah.
Who do I think that would play more than Emerson Royale?
Kulusevski? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is that a fair trade?
Yeah, go on then. Kulusevski, go on. For the purpose of the
my point is, I think Emerson's going to be an essential ingredient because I don't think we're going to sign a right back, and I don't think Porro's going to fit, and I don't think Jed Spencer's going to be there. And in fact, let's press pause because I actually do want to take us in that direction. When I did my little 20-minute live stream at 10 to 12 this morning, I did say that we were going to talk about the wing backs this evening. Before I do, let me just shout out a couple of super chats I haven't got to. Rob Wallace, what's happening? Big up to Rob Wallace. Thank you so much for your support. that Y Scout tool is like a cheat code for Football Manager. It is like real life Football Manager. And you know what?
I might actually get it just for cheating.
No, before you don't get it yet, mate. Don't get it yet, because I've just reached out to Y Scout and told them how much I'm like talking about them, and I'm trying to get like an affiliate link.
Oh,
so
he wants
before
a
you sign up for
sponsorship,
it, let
doesn't
me
he?
see if I can make some cash.
He wants a Squarespace style sponsorship at the beginning of his videos.
Let me say thank you so much to Azad Hamed, who's saying, is that the same Tonali that Sarr absolutely owned? Yes, in the one game this year, Sarr did absolutely own him. But Tonali is a worldie.
I think Tonali's incredible.
Big up to Ben Kaufman saying, big up everyone, big up mate, hope you're okay. Also, I want to say massive shout out to X-Man as a new member of the channel. Welcome, mate. I can't wait to meet you on the calling shows once I get around to doing that. Mac with €5 saying, boys, all our problems last season started when Bentancur got injured. Left side centre back is important, but we are severely lacking creativity in the middle. Is he making the case, Mia, for Maddison over a centre back? Is that what he's saying? And if so, what do you think about that?
What I think about that is the fact he dresses us all as boys. I'm getting a bit concerned about this situation that keeps continuously happening. I can assure you that I'm not a boy. But anyhow, it's fine. Yeah, I do get it. And I do think that it was a massive miss, obviously, with Bentancur. But I just feel that centre-back position is so important. I know that the midfield is also important, and I get that. But I just feel if we're going to get someone who's the class big player, I think we can get away with having a attacking midfielder that's not as well known or big. I think the centre back's probably the most important one. But yeah, everybody obviously thinks different. It's subjective. 100%. I respect his opinion apart from the boys' part.
Yeah, Mia, you know how often I say thank you, lads, and then I have to go, oh no, and ladies, you're a rarity, Mia. You're a rarity, and we love you for it. Kaylee's also in the house saying clone Romero. That's who.
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh, I would love two Romeros.
Oh, that's unbelievable. No. Honestly, think about how many you concede with two Romeros. That'd be.
We play with 9 men.
I was going to say, you might as well just start with 9 men.
That's what we got with Ibanez. That's what we got with Ibanez. Ibanez is the sort. I've said this before. Ibanez is the girl who is a crackerjacker, absolutely ridiculously hot as hell, and then you wake up in the morning with your man bits wrapped around a pair of scissors because she dreamed that you cheated on her. That's the sort of girl that Romero and Ibanez are. You don't want those sorts of people. You can have once in a while.
No, but you have once every now and again. No, I can't dislike. You know what I'm saying?
Where is this channel gone to?
I don't know. I'll tell you what, there's 680 people in the house. Yeah. Smash the like button for us. I'm going to be dropping out the links for everyone in a second. Please hit the subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the march to 10K now. It's going quickly.
On the road to 10K, God.
Right, I need to get you guys' opinion on this. This was the actual purpose. I was going to do live tonight anyway, before the Vicario news happened. But let's talk about the right back. And whilst we're at it, let's talk about fullbacks generally. If we're playing a back four, then we have to have 2 solid, dependable fullbacks in both positions. I would make the argument that we don't have. I would make the argument that we have 1 solid, dependable fullback. I don't think Udogie is a dependable, solid fullback that we can trust necessarily. I don't think Sessegnon is. I don't think Reguilon is. I certainly don't think Perisic is. I don't think Jed Spence is. And I certainly don't think that Pedro Porro is. We have 6 quote-unquote defensive wide players. We need 4. I would make the argument that we have 5 that don't fit the system. Before we start to talk about replacements, do we agree that we are square pegs, round holes in the defensive wide areas? Barry, I'll start with you, then I'll come to Perchy, and then I'll come to me last. Well, what are we thinking about the wide defensive areas? I know where you're going to go with Emerson. Let's agree that Emerson's a monster and that he'll be fine in the squad. Outside of him, where do we go?
I mean, outside of him, I mean, what is? I don't know. Is it a Jed Spence? I don't know. What are the other options? I don't think on that right hand side we've got anyone apart from Emerson really that can play in that right back role. Jed Spence, look, for me, this is not trying to put my Emerson hat on and be biased in any respect. Obviously, okay, Jed Spence had a couple of good games in the FA Cup against Premier League opposition. I watched him in the championship playoff final. I didn't think he did anything special or set the world on fire.
I agree.
So, I mean, look, that is a concern, but I think there's obviously more areas on the pitch that have biggest concerns. On the left-hand side, I think there's only two for me, and I think actually, obviously, Udogie and I think Reguilon as backup. I'm not upset if Reggie comes back and stays, because I don't think he's any worse than what we've got there. In terms of a Sessegnon or a Davis flittering into that left back position. I don't know. It's difficult. See, I think you've got, I think Porro would play further up, and Kulu would tuck in, and it seemed to work a lot better, towards the end of the season, more through having to try it rather than anything else, right? Rather than through choice. So, I think that would be where you go on that right-hand side. Then there's the question mark over the left-hand side going further up the pitch. But it's, I think you've got a Doji, Reggie, Emerson, Spence, I guess. There's not a lot.
Are you asking for someone to be brought in?
With the amount of games that we've got, bearing in mind we've got no Europe, we've got one game a week, and the team should be, when we do have the if we do go deep, let's just say in either of the cups, I think we don't necessarily need to bring anyone in on the right or the left hand side. But
so you're saying Davies and Udogie, and you're saying
Reggie.
Okay, Udogie and Reggie. So where does Ben Davies fit in, or you want him out?
I think his time is kind of gone. I think he's where maybe someone could come in and send him to Saudi on a 50 million contract, and he can go out there and sun himself. Or
really, I worry about Reguilon. Like, I like him as a player. I liked him as a player, but he's played about the grand total. He's probably played about as many minutes as Doherty did.
No, he's played a few more than Doherty, but it's nothing to shout about. I mean, he's poo.
If you want dependable, then you're going to have Davis there. If you want to take a bit of a risk, then I think Reggie goes in there.
All right. And on the right-hand side, you're happy with Spence and or Porro and or Emerson. So you're saying we're good fullbacks, is what you're saying, Baz, yeah?
We're not good, but for what the amount of games that we're going to be playing, I don't think it's a necessity. If we were playing in Europe and we had that, then I think we would have to look at it, right? But
okay,
I think we're okay.
Mia, are you? I'm more worried than I think. I think I'm more worried about it than I think Barry is. Where are you at with it?
I'm probably more with Barry, to be fair, because I heard because my brother watched him a bit more than I have, and he said defensively, Udogie's actually pretty all right. I think that actually what we could do is keep. I don't think all of them are going to go. So I don't think Davies, Dyer, Sanchez. I don't think Tanganga. All of them are going to be gone. So I think if any of them we're going to keep, we probably will keep Davies. So on that side, I feel like Reggie, Davies, and Doji, and then on the other side we've got Emerson. I think Spence might actually go out on loan. There's talk of him possibly going out on loan, and Porro. So I feel like
so if Spence is going out on loan, who's your right backs? Porro and
Emerson.
And you're comfortable with Porro playing right back in the back four?
Do you know what? I know that it's going to be like a bit of a funny one, but I was watching again when I was listening to something, and they said he could play more inverted, and that it could work out. It could work. Like what Ange could do is work with it. I think that we've got other places we need to
He'd be
spend.
expected to play as an inverted right back. He's expected to come in off the flank. That's the way the Postecoglou.
Yeah,
But inversions are an attacking thing, not a defensive thing.
but
Defensively,
defensive. But you
I think
should
you'll
have.
get ripped apart next
But
season.
if you have somebody in the midfield who can cover that, who basically you'd have someone basically to cover. So when we're attacking, and then so like I say, anyway, I think that he can make it work. I feel because I feel like the money that we've got, even if we sell players, the money we've got is limited, and I wouldn't want to spend money in them areas because I think there's more important areas to spend.
Agreed.
All right, look, I mean, interesting. Not as much panic about it as you got as I. I'm worried about the right back spot, and I'm worried about the left back. Where you at with it?
I kind of have to agree with the others here, mate. I think we've got to look at it and go, there's not going to be as many games, so I think that's already the key one. So you look on the right side and you go, Emerson defensively, Porro more attacking, Jed Spence more attacking. So you got three there. Realistically, that's probably going to be the three that are there. That's not. I don't think we're all going to see much change there. And on the left-hand side, you've got Doji's probably going to be the one that starts more attacking aggressor. Region is the problem. I don't see what people see in him. I'll be honest. I saw him enough last season at Atletico Madrid, and he's awful. Sessegnon is awful. No chance he even is in the conversation. And then it's the other one. Then the question is Ben Davies the one you keep a hold of short term for a year, knowing that we can... This is the question. This is Sean, I'll put this to you. Let's just say, for argument's sake, on the right-hand side, we're okay for now. But on the left-hand side, would you keep Ben Davies now for one more year on the pretense that in that 12 months, we're going to find somebody that is going to fit the bill that we need in 12 months' time, or 6 months' time if we count January? Is Ben Davies good enough for the short-term season? Because for me, and I won't talk for everybody else here, but for me, next season's a write-off. I don't really care where we finish, as long as we don't get relegated. I think we're good enough not to get relegated. So on that basis, I'm not too bothered.
So I agree. First of all, I agree with. I don't care how good the window is. I don't care if we sign Raya and or Vicario, whatever. If we sign Tapsoba or even Laporte, if we go and sign Palinha, to sit in the 6. If we go and sign Maddison, if we go and get Nico Jackson to come in and sit behind and sell, if we go and get the perfect 8, 9 out of 10 window, I would still sit here and say that next season we're going to finish, or this season coming, we're going to finish top 6 max. Because I think there's too much change at the club, and there'll be a bedding in period. There's too much of a 180. All the players that we do want to stay haven't played this system at club level, so they're going to have to learn it. There's a bedding in period, and Postecoglou has mentioned it 1,000 times that there's a process to it. So next season, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to get relegated or anything like that. But I think that it doesn't matter how many good players we come in. I think we're not going to have a wonderful season. Season 2, I think we could kick on. But to answer the question directly and definitively, I am more than happy with Ben Davies and Udogie at left back. I think those two will be absolutely fine. Right back, I think we've got a problem. I think we've got a problem. I really do think there's an issue, and I think we got a super chat from Sava all the way from Benidorm or wherever he is.
No, he's not. He's in Magaluf now.
Magaluf. He's had
with his missus. He's gone to Magaluf with his missus.
He's gone to Magaluf.
First of all, there's two things wrong with that sentence. I could never imagine Sava in Benidorm or Magaluf.
He did it in one holiday.
He's doing it.
When he went to Cape Verde, that's the type of holiday I expect Sava to be going on, right? But not. Yeah. He stands as a slip, man. He stands as a slip, Sava.
Big up, Sava. Thank you for the super chat, my man. I hope you're well. If you listen, I don't know. You shouldn't be bored. You're on holiday, but if you are, and you just send me a text if you want to escape for 20 minutes and come on. But he's saying Porro right back scares the life out of me. I agree with you, Sava, mate. I think he scares the life out of me. Great going forward. Big up, Perchy, me and Sean. Not Barry. That's why Barry's having a crack back.
He's in bed, by the way. He's in bed, Sean. He's just messaged. He's in bed. I'm even more worried now. He's sat there stark bollock naked in bed, listening to us.
He's having a chop suey. He's having a chop suey looking at the screen.
The stag do. He's hungover from the stag do.
Do you know what? That thought has just made me feel really sick. Can we not, please, lads? Can we not?
Okay, gastroscopy all over again. All right, listen. So we're done with the right back and the left back. We're thinking that Tapsoba might come in. I think we had some sort of consensus, right? Are we all generally okay with the idea of maybe parking our frustrations at Daniel Levy for not getting Raya over the line? If maybe this guy could be the Brighton equivalent of what most other clubs would go and find, and if it means we save 20 million quid and can go and get Edmund Tapsoba, are we generally okay with that scenario?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Okay. 8 out of 10 window.
I'm not starting all this 8 out of 10 window business again. Go on.
No, I'm not doing it thus far. I'm asking you for an 8 out of 10 window. Tell me who you want gone. I'm going to start with I'll start with you, Mia. Who do you want gone? Who do you want in to make me have to hear you say on this channel in 6 weeks' time, we've had an 8 out of 10 window?
Oh my God. Do you know what? I think for me, I'm realistic. So I can't ever give you that because I don't think that realistically that's going to happen. So the players I want out there's a big list. Like I would want obviously Dyer, I would want Sanchez out, I'd want Tanganga out, I want Winks, I want Lo Celso gone. God, there's so many that I want gone.
Right, we know the out. We know the out.
There's so many.
Who's the ins for your 8 out of 10? Who's the ins?
Do you know what? It would have to be for me to make it an 8. It would have to be an unrealistic one, like Laporte coming in. I think that now that I'm not maybe this goalkeeper that
there's no realistic window that can get you an 8.
No, because I feel like
for me, you have to break the realism into the 8, though. That's the thing. You have to put both of them have to kind of merge. I know what you're trying to say, but you have to merge it to be into an 8 in my opinion.
Okay, an 8 for me would be to get a decent goalkeeper. I'm not going to specify a player. I just want to get players that Ange wants in those positions. This is centre back 2 or maybe 3 if we're going to be really like crazy. A couple, I think actually we could get a not so expensive attacking midfielder and someone, maybe a youngster, and get them, and maybe a winger to challenge Sonny. That would probably be realistic.
I agree with that.
An 8.
Just before I hand it over then to Barry and to Perch, is Brian Hill that guy? Is he? Do you think he's going to come back and participate, or is he going to be like, I'm a Europa League winner? I don't need to hang around with you bums at Tottenham.
Is he gonna? He's gonna flick his hair and be like,
yeah.
He's gonna give Harry Kane his medal so Harry Kane can feel it.
Yeah, this is what it's like to be a winner, mate.
Sorry.
Brass that, mate. Brass that for me, bro. I'll see you after dinner. I'll make sure it's polished nice and tiny. All right. I'll come to Bazza. Bazza is tell me what an 8 out of 10, and make it realistic. And forget about the outs. We all know the outs, right? What would be an 8 out of 10 for you?
Well, you said realistic. I don't know how realistic you want it.
Where you would go?
Dream. I want to dream. I want to dare dream. Do.
No, but listen. If Tottenham go and sign Raya, Laporte, Maddison, and then I don't know Rafael Leao or something, then it's a 10 out of 10 window, isn't it? Right. So
yeah.
What's an 8 out of 10? What's like a? You know what? I don't care. I'm not going to wait for these players to fail before I say that Postecoglou wasn't backed. I'm going to sit here at the end of the window and I'm going to say that we've got enough players in that are of high enough quality on paper to say the manager was backed, because I can't stand the rear view mirror bullshit. Going, it's not good. Like, I'll wait until they fail to say that the Conte wasn't. I hate all that nonsense. What is enough for you to hear by the end of the window that Postecoglou was backed and that it's an 8 out of 10 window? Talk me through that.
I would say a Tapsoba, a Nelson, a Maddison, and a goalkeeper.
Four big players. Nelson, Tapsoba, Madison, and Raya or Vicario, whatever. And you're happy. You're a happy boy, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. That's reasonable. I'd be happy with that as well. I think we would probably need a little sprinkle up the top end of the pitch as well, but I'd be okay with that. What about you, Perch?
Are we counting the players worn out as well, or do you?
No, forget about that.
I was just saying I could be here for about 2 hours if you want.
Everyone knows who we don't want.
Yeah.
Who do we want?
If we're counting it with all the dross going, well, the majority of the dross going, if we count that. Goalkeeper, again, wanted Raya, but listen, if this new lad, let's just say for hypothetical, it's going to be his new lad, Nelson, Tapsoba, but the combination of either Ito or that Tosin Adebayo at Fulham, I think they're good enough. And then a little bit forward, I think we're desperate in need of a 6. Someone a bit more defensive-minded midfield.
Who's your six? Who's your 6 of choice? Interesting. Who's your 6?
Good question. I'd be honest, not sure.
Let me throw out 3 names. Let me throw out 3 names for you. Let me throw out.
Give me 3 names. And I'll tell you if they're realistic or not.
Polinia?
Not realistic. He's the price tag, no chance. Next one.
Sofian Amrabat?
Potentially. Maybe nearer the end of the window, potentially. That's a maybe.
Or Calvin Phillips?
Well, he's come out and said he's not leaving Man City. So,
Has he?
I mean,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, no, he said today that because there was obviously the talks about him leaving. He said, no, I'm not going anywhere. Someone put in a link. Frank Kessie's a good shout.
Oh, that's what I was going to go with. I couldn't think of his name.
Frank Kessie's a good shout in there. Look, listen, if we got in a Frank Kessie, by the way, that is a big signing for us at the moment. Amrabat or Kessie. Madison, we need creativity. But for me, the one if we didn't get Madison, but we signed Alex Scott, I'd be massively happy with that window. I think we do need 3 centre backs. And I'd even
hold up. Sorry. Lynchy, why are we looking for a 6? What do you mean?
We haven't got one
looking for a 6. You tell me, Lynchy. I love you to pieces, mate. Tell me who is the obvious 6 in the Postecoglou system. Tell me who it is, and don't say that Bissouma is the perfect guy. I think he's a makeshift. I think he will satisfy.
He'll be a makeshift.
He ain't perfect 6.
For me, if it was me, and if it was me in a 3, my 3 would be if we said Kessie, Bissouma, and a Scott/Madison as your 3 would be well, and then Bentancur you can bring back in when he's back from injury.
I think Alex Scott comes in as a starter.
Yeah, have you seen our midfield? It's horrendous. I think we've got a crap midfield. Take out. I think he is. What you play him in that sort of aggressive number 8, basically. The way
instead of Bentancur.
Well, Bentancur's out for half a season, mate. We're gonna have to find a player.
You think Alex Scott comes in and is a starter in our first team immediately?
At the moment, without Bentancur, yeah. Without Bentancur, there, yeah.
Let me know in the chat. Let me know, chat. Dial in on this one. Dial in on this one. Is Alex Scott?
Sorry, someone put Ndombele is a 6. Oh, see, have you seen this fella play?
Who's saying Ndombele?
I don't know. 1049 Mike Cleesby. Nah, mate, you can't be putting Ndombele as a 6. No chance. This player needs to be gone.
Bumper K said, well, I just lost it. Hang on, what happened there? Bumper K, Sean, Alex Scott, 1000% starts for us. He's brilliant.
Good player.
In what position does he immediately start?
As I told you, he'll play as that sort of aggressive. He plays that aggressive.
I'm all for Alex Scott coming in, but explain to me how he has justified.
Okay, here's the question: where does James Maddison play? He plays in the 8.
He plays in the.
Scott play that.
No, he plays in the Matt O'Reilly role. That's what I'm saying. So if we go and sign James Maddison, then Alex Scott doesn't start.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said. I said Maddison or Scott is what I said.
Okay. I like Alex Scott. I love Alex Scott to come in, but. Yeah. Personally, I do not think he starts for us at the moment.
Over our midfield right now. Honestly, Sean, you could probably start in our midfield right now.
I promise you I couldn't. I've never played football in my life.
Let's be honest, our midfield is crap.
I've never kicked the ball in my life.
But you know what? Our midfield is terrible. People can talk. No, I never said sorry. I never said Scott was a 6. By the way, that wasn't what I was saying.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But for me, our midfield is lacking, and I hate Sava loves to say it, but we need legs and energy in midfield. We haven't got it, and Alex Scott offers that in midfield. I don't
plays in the Hatate.
Exactly.
Well, that means that you have what? So what are we saying here? You have, if he comes in, obviously, for me, it depends on who else is coming in with him. If you have Bissouma playing in the 6 with the squad that we have, if you have Bissouma playing in the 6, and Bentancur's not fit, and then at the moment, of course, you need. Look, I would make the argument that Alex Scott has not been proven at Premier League level. The only time you've ever seen him play against a Premier League team was against Manchester City in the FA Cup.
Premier League level, and look what he did. I'm not putting him in the same bracket, but the argument doesn't make sense.
But Ollie Skip looked amazing at Championship level, and we wouldn't want him starting next season, would we? I'm not saying he's not. I'm all about Alex. I'm a massive fan of Alex Scott. I'm just saying.
I've watched enough of this kid play and gone. We will regret.
Would he play Sar over?
I don't think he plays that role though. I think for me, Sar comes across as a player that you'd play in the sort of rotation with Bissouma. I think they have very similar technical players in that sense. But for me, like, I just feel like right now when we say, Alex Scott is the player that will go to a Liverpool or he'll go to a Borussia Dortmund and we'll all go, what a player.
I'm not saying don't buy him. I'm not saying don't buy him. I'm all about buying him. I think he's hyper talented. I think he's hyper talented, Perch. I'm just saying, I think he's a wonderful player. I'm just saying, I'm not sure if he's the ambition for us to start, then we're going to struggle next year. Barry, what are you saying, mate? What's your thoughts on Scott?
Because Bentancur's injured. That was my point.
All right, fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Bazza, you got any takes on Alex Scott?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think he fits into one for the future, but I don't think he comes in and starts. Let's not get carried away. I know we've seen it with players that have come through like your Dele Alli and stuff like that, but we've got people like Alfie Devine, who's there at the same age, that's not getting a look in. So
I like Devine. I think he's great. He's one that I expect to see given an opportunity. Agreed, as well. But
he's not.
But you wouldn't start it, would you? But you wouldn't start. But you wouldn't start Devine. So no, would you?
Right now.
Ben said if you're getting Maddison, then you're getting Scott as well to be the understudy, right?
Yeah, that's what I said would be my 8 out of 10 is to get an understudy one.
Both though, are we? Let's be honest. This is Tottenham here. Let's be frank.
I know, but I was asked for my 8 out of 10. So I gave my 8 out of 10. That's what I said.
Oh no, for me that's.
Listen, guys, what we do here is that I put specific conditions on questions that make it very difficult to give you a real answer, and then once you've given them, I allow everybody to pile in on you and absolutely ridicule you for your answers. That's what we do on the Spurs Talk Show.
I'm definitely not coming back on this one, man. Like that.
Right, guys, look, we've been going for an hour and a half. It's 10 o'clock in the evening. It's good enough. I think we discussed everything. Really appreciate everyone hanging around. Well done to the 3 of you guys. I hope you guys are getting some links. I've been pumping up your channels in the conversation.
4 subs from 900. Come on, guys.
4 subs off 900. Ooh. Listen, guys, everyone
Bertie, you are incontrollable, right? Every time I watch you, it's like, come on, guys. It's because I want to go away. Please, guys.
Shameless.
Do you know what he is? He's such a sub whore. That's what he is. Sub whore.
But it's because I'm so excited to do the charity stream that you guys are obviously welcome to join us, of course. But I'm excited to get that done, and obviously I can't do that until we get over the big number.
Well,
Perchie, I'll tell you what, Perchie. I know how we're gonna get you the numbers.
Go on.
Why in a second? Why can't you do a charity stream without without.
I want to use all the monetized money and put it all into charity. I'm trying to raise as much
you
money.
don't want to do that because YouTube take 30%, mate. You don't want to get the money.
I've got the big Just Giving page. It's already prepared. I designed it months ago.
All right,
guys.
Let's talk about.
There's still 600 people in the house. I want to say thank you to everyone. Smash a like on the channel. Smash the subscribe button. Ben Kaufman. I don't even know why you're not a moderator, mate. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I never stopped that, mate. I don't know what's gone on, but I'll get you back in. Love you to pieces. Before everyone goes, don't hang up just yet. I want everyone to listen to what's going on Barry's channel. Shellside Spurs. Is anything coming up, or are you having the summer off?
We're having the summer off. So for those of you that we do what we want. We don't talk about football. We talk about nonsense and we have a laugh. That's basically Shelfside Spurs in a nutshell. But look, guys, we are having a summer hiatus. We will be back. Not sure when yet. Maybe whenever we want, really. So but look, we're normally on a Thursday, 7:30. Head over Shelfside Spurs show. We like to have a bit of fun. And also you can catch me and this man that way on We Are Tottenham TV, getting clipped, getting muddied, and generally having a laugh. But yeah, it's good fun, man. It's good fun, no?
Talking about me?
Yeah. Well, Sean's promised to do a watch along with me, but he always flip flops out of it. So
I'm a season ticket holder now, bro.
Look at yeah. He's a season ticket holder, sat on his own. You're not with the crew. You're not with the We Are Tottenham TV crew, are you, Sean? No, you're on your own. That makes some new friends.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, friends, new Tottenham friends.
I met my own crew. The Spurs Talk Show started their own little section in the South End.
Cool.
And if you don't know, get to know.
And how much you're going to pay? And how much you're going to pay them then, Sean, to do that? Yeah.
Mia, what's coming up on Between the Lines?
Spurs Between the Lines. I've got every single day. I do transfer updates. I do my lives 3 times a week. So there's always loads of content for everyone to consume. So make sure you come over.
Well done. Thanks so much for coming on, Perch. I know you've already said you're about 900 away or so from the getting the big 1K. And what's your next stream?
Next stream? No, I mean, I'm just this channel is sort of just going as it flows. Really, we do the daily 12 o'clock streams every hour on lunchtime, dead on lunchtime for 1 hour. We just talk crap about Tottenham and every bit and stuff, and it's all a bit of a laugh. Every one of you guys are welcome on any time. Yeah, that's how it goes. We're just riding the wave at the moment, the YouTube wave.
We're going to get you there very quickly, mate. We're going to get you there very quickly. Bazza, Mia, Perchy, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to roll out. We don't know who the goalkeeper is going to be. We're not even entirely sure whether or not this guy is value for money wise better than Raya. For me personally, I was locked in on Raya. The chat has been locked in all night, dialed in. I really appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, and comment on your way out. Make sure you hit those links for the 3 beneath and above and next to me right here. And we will see you tomorrow for another one on the Spurs Talk Show. Like, subscribe, and comment as always, guys. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, before I go, sorry, hang on. I hate doing this. I always forget to say it. Stop. Wait. I got to say thank you so much to the super chats from Rob Wallace, from Ben Kaufman, to X-Man, the new member, to Mac, to Kaylee Davis, and to Sava. And also to Azad, Hamid, and to Moondog, and to Crocodox. Love you guys. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. It very much helps. Love you all. Like, subscribe, and comment, guys, as always. Bye-bye.